What if the sky was not safe? What if millions of years ago, the air above you was ruled by flying predators? Not birds, not bats, something far more terrifying. This is the brutal reality of pterodactyls. Long before airplanes, before humans even existed, the skies were alive, filled with massive flying reptiles, known as pterodactyls. But here's the truth most people don't know. They were not peaceful gliders. They were hunters. Pterodactyl is a popular name. The real group is called pterosaurs, and they were very different from birds. No feathers, some had hair-like covering, wings made of skin, not feathers, and long jaws filled with sharp teeth. Some were small, but others were huge. Wingspans up to 30 feet or more, taller than a giraffe when standing. These giants could truly dominate the sky. Imagine walking across an open land. You hear a loud screech above. You look up. A massive shadow blocks the sun, wings stretching across the sky, watching you. Flying wasn't just movement, it was survival. Everything depended on the sky. Hunting, escaping predators, traveling long distances. But life in the sky wasn't easy. The sky was not peaceful. It was a battlefield. Predators versus predators, fighting for food, space, survival. But how did these creatures actually fly? Their bodies were strange. Their wings were different. In part 2, we reveal the shocking truth about how they stayed in the air. Stay tuned. How did pterodactyls fly? The answer is more complex than you think. Their wings were unlike anything today. A single long finger, extended outward, holding a membrane of skin. A masterpiece of biological engineering. They functioned like a natural glider. They didn't just flap and go. They used all 4 limbs to launch into the air, like a spring-loaded machine. Some flapped constantly, others glided for miles, using wind currents, like modern eagles, but bigger. Flying required massive energy. They needed constant food. Without it, they wouldn't survive long. A giant pterosaur stands on a cliff, wind blowing. It suddenly leaps, spreads its massive wings, and disappears into the sky. But flying high didn't make them safe, because in the sky, there were killers. In part 3, we reveal the brutal hunting and survival struggle. The sky was never just a place to fly. It was a hunting ground, a vast, open arena where only the most efficient killers survived. Some were skimmers. They used specialized jaws to snatch fish from the surface while staying in constant motion. Speed was their only protection. Others were divers. They plummeted from the clouds, hitting the water with enough force to stun their prey before dragging it back to the sky. But the biggest of them were terrestrial stalkers. On the ground, they were taller than any modern predator, hunting small dinosaurs like a giant prehistoric heron. The hierarchy of the sky was simple. Size was power. The smaller species lived in constant fear of their own giant relatives. They were also opportunistic scavengers, cleaning up the remains left by larger land-dwelling carnivores, filling a vital role in the prehistoric ecosystem. Competition for territory was brutal. Aerial dogfights were common, with predators clashing in the clouds over nesting grounds and feeding rights. But survival came at a cost. A single torn wing or a missed meal could be a death sentence in a world that never stopped moving. Even the masters of the sky weren't safe from the ground. Large land carnivores were always watching, waiting for a pterosaur to land. Some species adapted to the dark, becoming silent night hunters. Their specialized vision allowed them to own the sky even when the sun went down. They were global travelers, crossing entire continents and oceans. Their dominance was total, a reign that lasted for over 150 million years. But every reign must end. As the world changed, these masters of the sky vanished, leaving only their stories in the stone. They truly were the creatures that owned the sky. The biggest threat was not in the sky. The answer to their downfall lay in the very world they ruled. The Earth began to change. Climate shifts, food shortages, ecosystems that had sustained them for millions of years were collapsing. Early birds started evolving. They were smaller, faster, and more efficient in their energy use. They were built for a changing world. They could survive better in the new environments. Pterosaurs, once the undisputed masters, began to struggle. Less food, more competition, harder survival. The giants of the sky were being pushed to the edge. Fewer creatures in the sky. Silent air. A once busy world. Fading into history. And then, a catastrophic event changed everything. A force that no amount of evolution could prepare them for. In Part 5, we reveal how they disappeared forever, the end of the greatest flyers to ever live. The end came suddenly, a force from beyond our world that would change the course of history forever. Around 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid hit Earth. This event is known as the mass extinction. Fires, darkness, cold temperatures. The once vibrant world was plunged into a nightmare. Food chains collapsed. The sky became deadly. Pterosaurs couldn't adapt fast enough. Their specialized bodies, built for the open sky, were now their greatest weakness. They disappeared. Forever. A reign of 150 million years ended in the blink of an eye. The rulers of the sky, gone. Not because they were weak, but because nature changed. If this opened your eyes, don't just leave. Like this video. Subscribe for more dark prehistoric truths. And comment, Sky King, if you watch till the end. Your support keeps these ancient stories alive, because the past is more terrifying than you think. Thanks for watching the final chapter.